So as you guys probably already know today, there was the brand new trailer for Muaer Der Toten, but on top of that, Treyarch has also released a blog post, and this blog post has a ton of crazy stuff. It's a literal meta-changing blog post because it talks about some major changes that are coming with Season 4 Reloaded. So to not waste any time, let's go ahead and jump over to this. So as you guys can see here, Muaer Der Toten arrives July 15th. We already knew about this, and of course the release date for, well, when the map comes out, this isn't the main Easter egg, but just the map is 9 p.m. Pacific at on the 14th or 12 a.m. on Eastern, whatever your time zone is. But either way, we're not going to read off that, but we're going to start reading here because this is where it gets important. So as you've seen from this week's teasers, an official trailer of Muaer Der Toten is packed with new undead threats and plenty of new ways to kill them. This includes a new CRBRS wonder weapon with 4 total weapon variants at your disposal. So that's actually really interesting because we've only seen 3 different variants of this gun. So that means there's one more that we haven't actually seen, which I actually like a lot, that they kept one hidden. So I imagine this is going to be the big one. But it continues to say, as well as a new craftable LT-53 Casimir, which casts your enemies into the Dark Ether or transport you to a different area entirely. So this is pretty much, if you guys played, any, I think Black Ops 3 and also Black Ops 1 had it, the Gersh device, if you guys have played with any of the maps that have that, it's pretty much just that, except the difference is it's not just a black hole, and it's a hole that pulls things into the Dark Ether, which is a little interesting. So, one thing that I do find interesting about this is that they say it's a new craftable, so this probably means that it's going to be available in the crafting table, which it sounds pretty expensive if we're being completely honest. If it's literally you could buy Gersh devices, I mean, it's probably going to cost at least 1,000 green salvage, I would imagine. But either way, it continues to talk about Meal Kick, where it says Meal Kick also makes its Cold War debut next week, giving players the ability to take a third weapon into battle even before investing in its 5 additional tier upgrades. Excuse me. So this is interesting. So the base ability of Meal Kick is just what Meal Kick originally did. It gives you the ability to hold 3 weapons instead of just 2, which means if that's the base ability, that means there's 5 new abilities that we have no idea about, which we'll probably learn about tomorrow because of stuff we'll get into here in a bit. But either way, it seems like this Meal Kick may have some good abilities for once, hopefully, because we all know how much everyone loves Meal Kick. But then, either way, returning to this, it says, but that's not all. We're also delivering some new updates to beef up your arsenal next week. And this is where the meta changing stuff comes in. So incoming zombies meta updates. It literally says meta update, so you can tell this is going to be big. With the launch of Season 4 Reloaded on July 15th, we'll be making several fundamental changes to the enemy health caps, enemy armor durability, sniper rifle critical damage, and max damage, pack punch melee weapon damage, and damage scaling for equipment support, and the field upgrades to turn you into even more bad undead killing machine. That really confused me. I don't know why. Either way, we'll actually get into what these changes are, because it says these changes will include, and these, oh my gosh, they're big. I've already read them. Oh my gosh, we'll get into them. Well, either way, it says reduce enemy health caps. So for zombies on high rounds, so zombies on high rounds are now going to be at 100%. Like their health is going to be reduced to. And you may wonder, what's that reduced from? It's from 300. And 300, that means that this is being cut into what's it divided by 3? I forget, but it's a third. That's what it is. A third of what the health was before this update, which is insane. And it does sound insane, and it kind of is. But you have to keep in mind that it's not as big of a deal, because you have to keep in mind that in the most previous update, or was it Season 3 Reloaded? It might have been. Either way, there was a buff to zombies' high round health, so it may not be as big of a deal as it may seem, but it is a big deal compared to what it currently is right now and what's going to become. But that's not where it ends. But here's the least minor change out of all of them, but this is for special zombies, manglers, mimics, and stuff like that. Reduced to 50% at high rounds, and is down from 100, so that means they cut the health in half for high rounds of these special zombies, which I think is a good thing, because I hate dealing with mimics. The next one though is for elites, and the elites one have been reduced to plus 25% at high rounds, down from 100. So the health of elite has been, it's like a quarter of what it used to be before this, which is an insane nerf. So I don't know if this one is epic gamer, because I haven't really gone high rounds on a map that has elites in a long time, so I don't know if this was a problem, but it seems like they really nerfed, I guess those would be the Panzers and Megatons a lot, especially on high rounds. Keep in mind, this is all for high rounds. This isn't going to really be something that's going to affect people for going for Easter eggs or just your casual rounds. So keep that all in mind. It's not like as crazy as a nerf as you guys may be thinking right now. But finally, one that, thank goodness, is HVTs. Reduce the health to plus 10% at high rounds, and that's down from 100. So this is a tenth of what it used to be, which honestly I think is a good thing, because I hate the HVTs. They are way too buffy, and they do need to get a nerf, so I'm happy with this. I don't know if becoming a tenth of what they currently were is the play, but I'm glad they did get nerfed nonetheless. But those are the big changes to the zombies meta. But anyways, we can continue to talk about this. Reduce the health of armored for medium and heavy zombies by 30%. Thank goodness, I hate those things. I don't know if this is going to be enough, but 30% sounds like a lot, so hopefully it is. Buff sniper rifles, critical damage multipliers, stock ammo, and max damage. I'm not going to use a sniper even after this, so I don't care. Buffed melee weapon, pack punch, and triple pack punch damage multipliers. Cool, I don't use melee weapons into that hive round, so don't care. Equipment support and field upgrades. And then the field upgrades we're talking about are Frost Blast and Energy Mines. Will scale their damage evenly with this update. So I guess they didn't before. Equipment and support will now be much more consistent with their abilities to kill enemies. And lethal equipment and ground-based support will increase in damage in many instances. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't use almost any of this stuff into high rounds, so I didn't know that this was a big problem, or if it was, but it seems like all of them are getting a buff, especially Frost Blast and Energy Mine, because I don't think I've ever used these two field upgrades, if I'm being completely honest. But that's about it for the changes. But one thing Treyarch wants to make clear is that our weapon of damage buffs from Season 3 Reloaded will also remain intact in this update, so they're not taking away the weapon buffs that they had before, so that's staying the same. And that's, of course, is what they continue to say, is that, so continue to aim for the head, you'll be cutting through hordes like butter before you can say Deadshot Daiquiri. And the reason they say aim for the head is because, if you guys remember that update, the headshot multipliers are insane after that update, so you really should be aiming for the head. But either way, then we get into something that is actually insane, because this is what I thought the wall buys were going to work like at launch, or before the game launch, when I first heard about all this, which is insane to think about, because this is literally what I thought they were going to do, but it turns out they didn't do it, but now they are. But this is really cool. Either way, it says, we're also making weapons even more powerful with a new feature, dynamic wall buys. In all round-based zombies maps, starting with Season 4 Reloaded, wall buy weapons will have a chance to increase in rarity at the end of every 5th round, all the way up to Legendary. As the rounds go up, now you will have more weapon options to choose from. So this is really, really, really cool, because this is, as I said, how I thought wall buys were going to work from the start, because I thought like wall buys are going to be kind of useless if they stay green the entire time, and I was completely right about that. Because if you think about the wall buys people use, like the only one that I think I've ever used was the blue Gallo on D Machina, and that's literally it, and I don't even think I use that anymore. So wall buys have been pretty cringe, if we're being completely honest. So this may help it, but the only problem with that is that it's only a chance, so it's not guaranteed, which I think that having a guarantee, that these wall buys will go up every certain rounds, I think that would be better. But at least it's a little bit better than what it currently is, and maybe more people will start using wall buys. But of course, this is where the last part that is mentioned here, and this is something that you should probably stay tuned to this channel and maybe subscribe, because there's probably something big coming tomorrow. Not as big as today because it was a trailer, but something, pretty big. Probably, go into more depth for Muaer Der Toten. But what that is when the Treyarch says, keep an eye on our social channels tomorrow for even more Muaer Der Toten intel. I can imagine it's probably going to be like Meal Kick and maybe the Wonder Weapons even more, or something like that. So I can't wait to see what that's about. But then it continues saying, as well as next week's Season 4 Reloaded special broadcast and mid-season patch notes. We'll also be kicking off the global hunt for the main quest at 10 a.m. Pacific, or I guess 1 p.m. Eastern, July 15th. So mark your calendars and clear your schedule. So this is something that we also learned about earlier in a tweet from Treyarch, but again, they're keeping that whole thing where they release the map, the night before, but then the next morning is when the Easter egg actually goes live. I know people don't like that. Personally, I love that so much. I hate staying up hunting for Easter eggs. It's so annoying trying to keep myself up at 4 in the morning, like, I gotta solve this Easter egg now. It's just something I hate, but I'm glad that this is like this. But either way, that's all they had to say today. But my gosh, there's some pretty big changes to zombie health today, and my gosh, I want to hear what you guys think about this, especially the high round players. What do you think about these meta changes to higher round? Because I'll admit it, I'm not a high round player, so I don't really know. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about, you high round players. But either way, that's about it for me. If you guys did enjoy the video and you found it useful in any way, shape, or form, definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go. I'll catch you guys next stream video, or whatever the heck it may be. And laters, guys.